The sanctions against the Northern Turk Stream, as voted by the US Congress, are already a fact. In Germany and Austria, there are calls to arms, with the East Committee in Germany members insisting that the EU responds with counter-sanctions to the US interference in the internal EU affairs, as if the Northern Turk Stream are unanimously accepted in the EU. In Austria, OMV's CEO Zelle made his position clear. Europe must not allow itself to be patronized by the US in matters of energy politics. In his reading, this seems to imply that Russian Gazprom controlling the EU gas market is a perfectly acceptable state of affairs. The Bulgarian Prime Minister has insisted that the Bulgarian segment of the Turk Stream, giving forward arguments that the pipeline bears a different name. It's called, in Bulgaria, the Balkan Stream. The project is not a transit one, he further goes on to assert, serving to transfer Turk Stream volumes from Turkish border to Serbian border, and in Bulgaria it is just an expansion of the Bulgarian transmission system. What he believes doesn't really matter in Brussels or Washington. If the Balkan Turk Stream is controlled at 80% on the entry and 90% on the exit of the Bulgarian transition system by Gazprom, the elementary name trick wouldn't fool anyone. Neither will this fool the US administration, as a few days ago the US ambassador to Bulgaria, Mustafa, explicitly stated that Bulgaria, note, does not profit from a transit project such as, and she called it, the Turk Stream. Why sanctions are inevitable and why the Bulgarian segment is an inalienable part of the Turk Stream zone that falls under the sanctions. The text in the NDA explicitly refers to the scope of activities, companies and individuals, to all that, and I quote, engage in the construction of the Nord Stream pipeline project, the Turk Stream pipeline project, or any project that is a successor to either such project. The Bulgarian section is a part of the Turk Stream project. There can be no dispute about it. Without Russian gas via Turk Stream, the so-called expansion project of the Bulgarian grid system doesn't make any sense. Further evidence of the exclusive transit nature of the project is the fact that Gazprom, despite earlier claims, does not offer any of this gas on the Bulgarian Balkan gas hub. Less the quantities that are bought by Bulgargas, all the remainder goes to Serbia, that is for transit. However, there is more to this defined scope of sanctions. In the NDA, there are specific lines that define the circumstances that trigger the US sanctions. And it is not the pipe per se, but the volumes it takes away from Ukraine and it loses for its transit. The text goes that the act is meant to ensure, barring unforeseen circumstances, that the project would not result in a decrease of more than 25% in the volume of Russian energy exports transiting through existing pipelines in other countries, particularly Ukraine, relative, note, to the average monthly volume of Russian energy exports transiting through such pipelines in 2018. As soon as Gazprom switches the Trans-Balkan pipeline gas flow to Turkish Stream, it immediately becomes subject to the sanctions. And this is already a fact. Turk Stream affects the transit flows in Romania and Bulgaria by far more than 25% of the level of 2018. This will be the first time Bulgarian officials or companies involved in such significant infrastructure project could be a direct target of US sanctions. It is just a matter of time for us to get the names. Thank you.